I'm drunk again, Derek thought. Every year he told himself the same thing. This is the year I stop. Every Christmas he tried to stay away from being drunk. He wanted just once to experience a normal Christmas. One where he didn't wake up with a headache, shame in his chest, and memories missing like torn pages from a book. But this year wasn't really good for Derek. This year had taken everything out of him. 3 months ago, he'd lost his job at the firm, a place he'd given years of his life. Late nights, missed weekends, empty dinners eaten alone at his desk, all of it erased by a short meeting and a few rehearsed sentences about restructuring and cost efficiency. Now he sat behind a desk at a bank, pushing papers, answering phones, pretending to care about numbers that meant nothing to him. A clerical job. Temporary, they said. But every morning felt heavier than the last. The misery followed him everywhere. He was always tired, always irritable, always quiet when he should have spoken, and harsh when he should have listened. That was why he and his girlfriend fought so much. Why the apartment had slowly turned cold. Why one day she packed her things and said she needed space. She didn't cry. That hurt the most. So, yeah, this wasn't really Derek's year. So, F it, he thought. I'm drinking myself until I feel the spirit of Christmas. The bar was packed. Christmas lights blinked lazily along the walls, mismatched decorations hanging from the ceiling like an afterthought. Laughter spilled over from every corner, loud and careless. Glasses clinked. Someone butchered a Christmas song on the jukebox. Derek welcomed the noise. It drowned out his thoughts. He ordered another drink, and then bang, the sound ripped through the room. Like a crack of thunder for a moment. Nobody moved. Then a man stood near the entrance. A gun raised above his head. Everybody shut up. He shouted, "Put everything you have on the table. Wallets, phones, jewelry. Now." Screams followed. Chairs scraped. Panic spread like fire. People rushed to obey. Derek blinked, slow and unfocused. He stared at the gun, then at his reflection in the mirror behind the bar. "Huh," he muttered. He slid his wallet and phone onto the counter, oddly calm. What did it matter? Everything important had already been taken from him this year. That was when he noticed her. A young woman stood frozen near the bar, clutching her phone like it was the only thing keeping her upright. Tears streaked down her face. "Come on," the gunman sneered, stepping closer. "Give me the phone." She shook her head violently. "Please, no." "Come on," the man said, grabbing her arm. "Give me the phone." She cried harder, but wouldn't let go. Something inside Derek shifted. Before he realized it, he was standing. Hey, he said, slurring a little. "Cool it, man. You already got a lot. Just leave the girl alone." The man turned, pointed the gun straight at him. "Trying to be a hero?" Derek almost laughed. Hero? He wasn't a hero. He never cared for anything anymore. He couldn't even save his own life from falling apart. But tonight, drunk as hell, this whole thing was messing with his vibe. "Relax," Derek said. "I was just trying." He stumbled straight into the man. They both went down hard. The gun slipped from the man's hand. Panic exploded in his eyes. He scrambled free and ran out of the bar. Silence. Everyone stared at Derek, like he didn't belong there anymore. Derek stood up slowly and walked out. "Hey, dude. Your phone. Your wallet." A man spoke and reached Derek thanks to him. "Oh," Derek said. "Thanks." He walked until the noise faded, until the streets got darker. That's when he saw a man on the ground struggling to breathe. Normally. Derek wouldn't care, but the man reached out, weak, desperate. "Help, please," Derek sighed. "What's wrong?" "My pills," the man gasped. "In my bag." Derek grabbed the bag, found the pills, handed them over. The man slowly recovered. "Can you help me get to the hospital?" The man asked. "I'll pay you." Derek groaned inwardly. This is what happens when you help people. But the money part caught his attention. "All right," he said. They took a cab. At the hospital, the man pressed cash into Derek's hand. Exhausted, Derek sank into a waiting room chair. Then he saw him, the man from the bar, the gunman. Derek watched him talk to the cashier. "I can get the rest of the money tomorrow," the man said. "Just please schedule the operation tonight." "It's not about money," the cashier replied. "There's no donor yet." Ow. The man walked away, beaten. Derek stood. "Why do you need the money?" The man recognized him, but didn't protest. He looked broken. "My daughter," he said. "I thought if I had enough money, they'd move her up the list." Derek swallowed. "You have a daughter?" "Yes." Derek shook his head slowly. "Then you should know better. That girl at the bar, she's someone else's daughter, too. If something happened to her, you think no father would care?" The man broke down, sobbing. "I was desperate. This is not what I do, but I couldn't bear not doing anything," the gunman said while tears rolled down on his face. "I'm not going to turn you in," Derek said softly. "But what you did tonight could have ruined lives. Yours, too. What would happen to your daughter if you went to jail or worse?" The man nodded through tears. Derek looked at the money in his hand, then held it out. "Here, I got this by doing something. Not sure it'll help much, but I think you need it more than I do." "Thank you," the man whispered. Suddenly a nurse rushed into the middle of their conversation. "Mr. Smith," she called out to the gunman. "There's a donor." Mr. Smith froze, then stood abruptly and followed the nurse down the hall. Disappearing around the corner, Derek remained behind, unsure what to do next. "Excuse me?" A small woman stepped into his line of sight. She wore a white coat and tired eyes softened by kindness. "I'm Dr. Michelle," she said. "You're the one who brought in Mr. Travis?" "Huh?" Derek replied, confused. "Mark Travis," she clarified gently. "The man you helped earlier?" "Oh, yeah. The guy who was having an attack," Derek said. "How is he?" The doctor hesitated just long enough for the answer to settle. "I'm sorry," she said quietly. "Mr. Travis passed away." "I'm sorry. He was very ill," Dr. Michelle continued. "Living on borrowed time. He wanted to be here at the hospital when it happened because he was a registered donor. He wanted his organs to be put to good use." Derek nodded slowly. "Okay, I know you didn't really know him," she said. "I feel a story coming," Derek thought. "But I want you to know something about Mark," the doctor continued. "He was alone. No family that we knew of. No close friends. He never married. He had a dog once, his only real companion, but even that passed years ago." She paused, choosing her words carefully. "His life wasn't remarkable in the way people usually mean, but he was kind, gentle, especially to animals. Two people too, just not very social."
Ow.
Derek listened. Saying nothing. "I'm telling you this," she said, meeting his eyes, "because in all the years I treated him, I never once known him to ask for help. Until tonight, until you," Derek said quietly. "He was dying, and you said he needed to be here, because he wanted to help as a donor." "Yes," the doctor replied softly. "Maybe that's true. But if you knew Mark—" "Well," she stopped herself, then smiled faint anyway, she said. "I just didn't want him to pass without at least two people knowing who he was." Derek nodded. "Thank you." He turned and walked toward the exit. "Hey, you." Derek stopped. Mr. Smith came rushing toward him, eyes red, breath uneven. "Thank you," Mr. Smith said. "I didn't even get your name." "Derek." "It's Derek," he repeated. "They told me," Mr. Smith continued, "you're the one who brought the donor in. I'm sorry he died, but because of him, my daughter's going to live." Derek shifted awkwardly. "Well, just return everything you took from the bar. Or turn yourself in," he added with a crooked smile. Mr. Smith gave a shaky laugh. "I will. After the operation. And here, press the cash back into Derek's hand. You don't need to give it back," Derek said. "We're okay now," Mr. Smith replied. "That money won't help us anymore. What we needed was a donor, and somehow you helped give us that. So take it, and thank you." Before Derek could respond, Mr. Smith rushed off. "Hey." Derek called after him. The donor's name was Mark Travis. "Don't forget it." Mr. Smith turned, murmuring the name under his breath. Mark Travis, he repeated, then smiled. I won't. Derek stepped out of the hospital. Still a little tipsy, well, he muttered to himself. That just happened. He stuffed his hands into his pockets and started walking. Guess I still need a few more drinks to feel Christmas. At the next corner, he noticed a boy standing alone, looking lost. Normally, Derek would have walked past, but something about him felt familiar. Everything okay? Derek asked. I'm looking for my sister, the boy said cautiously. She and my dad fought. She said she's not coming home. She works at a bar. Christmas Eve isn't a good night to run away. Derek saw tears forming. Ever since my mom passed away and my dad lost his day job, things have been really hard for us. My sister got a job to help with the bills, but my dad didn't like that, and that's why they always fight. The boy continued, as he's trying to fight the tears back. God, why is everyone suddenly in the mood to tell me stories? Derek thought, half amused. Don't worry, he said. I'll help you look. What am I saying? I'm way too drunk for this, he thought. As they crossed the street, a girl's voice called out, Billy! Billy! She ran toward them. Derek recognized her immediately, the girl from the bar. Why are you with my brother? She demanded, then stopped. Wait, it's you. She smiled. Thank you for saving me earlier. I didn't get to thank you. I was in shock. Derek smiled back. What you did was dangerous. Why not just give him the phone? It was a gift from my father, she said. I couldn't let it go. Lately, he thinks all I care about is money, but I'm just trying to help him. Billy crossed his arms. Carol, you need to come home. And don't run away. Not with this guy. He's too old. Hey, Derek said with a grin. Nobody's running away with anyone. Carol laughed. Relax, Billy. I'm coming home. Tonight made me realize something. We need to stick together. She glanced between them. By the way, how did you two even meet? Well, Derek said, he was crying while looking for you. I was not, Billy cut in sharply, shooting Derek a look. Derek raised his hands. Okay, fine. He wasn't crying, but he was looking for you. Carol smiled and reached for Billy's hand. He squeezed it, embarrassed but relieved. Thanks again, Carol said to Derek. Merry Christmas. Oh, Derek said, pulling the folded cash from his pocket. I got this as a reward or something. I was just going to spend it on drinks anyway. I think you need it more than I do. He held it out to her. No, I couldn't, Carol said, shaking her head. Please, Derek replied. You'd be doing me a favor. And don't worry, still got enough to get drunk. But not too drunk, Carol said with a small smile, taking the money. Thank you. This really helps. So, yeah, Derek said, backing away. Good night. Be careful out there. Thanks. And Merry Christmas again, Carol said. Merry Christmas, Derek replied, as he walked away. Derek thought about everything that had happened, about how none of it felt planned. Yet none of it felt random either. Maybe nights like this carried meaning whether you wanted them to or not. Maybe strangers weren't really strangers at all, just lives brushing past each other at the wrong or right moment. Broken people making choices, leaving marks they didn't know they'd leave. And maybe that's why kindness mattered, because somehow in ways we don't always see, we're all connected. Derek chuckled to himself. Shit, where did that come from? Man, I need a drink. I'm really starting to lose it, Derek thought. Finding the idea oddly funny, he wandered back to the bar he'd been at earlier. It was quieter now. Morning had crept in, pale sunlight brushing the tops of the windows, soft and forgiving. Hey, Derek, the bartender said. Man, people are saying you rushed a guy with a gun. Calling you some kind of hero. Hey. Frank grinned. Where'd you disappear to? Just around, Derek said. Guess the whole situation ruined my vibe. Thought I'd look for another bar. Loyal, Frank shot back. Oh, come on, you know what I mean? Derek said. Okay, but get this, Frank continued. The gunman came back. Everyone was shocked. He returned everything he took, left his name for anyone who wanted to file a complaint. Said we had you to thank. Frank leaned in. So, what happened out there? Derek smiled to himself. Nothing, Derek said. Just maybe a Christmas miracle. Frank snorted. Nah, I've seen better Christmas miracles. Of course you have, Derek replied dryly. He opened his mouth to order a drink, then stopped. Something felt different. He realized the fog had lifted. He wasn't drunk anymore. Tired? Yes. Worn down to the bone, but sober. And it was Christmas morning, for the first time since he started drinking. He was sober on Christmas Day. Derek smiled softly. Well, what do you know, he thought. I did get something out of this night. So, Frank said, wiping the counter. What'll it be? I'm open till noon. Derek looked up. Get me a coffee, Frank. It's a coffee? Frank blinked. A coffee? Yeah. Frank shook his head, smiling as he poured it. Now that is a Christmas miracle. Merry Christmas, Frank, Derek said, smiling back. Merry Christmas, Frank replied.